Is it about the title? The title? Yes! Meghan Bonde. Damn, Meghan. Meghan found out something that she does that she assumed everybody did, was that she prefers to be on stage talking to people because small talk is awful. There might be some neurodivergence in the room. She told me to say that. And she's going to come up now and talk to you about ending boring marriages.
It was our second date, and I found myself at the top of a double black diamond, knee-deep powder, straight down the hill, trees every 2 feet. And at the end, I survived, and I'm like, I thought I asked for a warm-up groomer. And he was like, we took a catwalk here. I did many more dangerous dates with Kyle and still decided to marry him. Never a dull moment, it felt like. And then over time, I started to step into the role of what I thought a good wife should be. 0 out of 5 stars, would not recommend. I started to just feel exhausted and overwhelmed. And so I decided to look for help. And I found this great book, Fair Play. And I realized I wasn't alone. Women shoulder 2/3 of the work required to run a home and a family, even carrying the same career load as their partner. I was pissed. And he continued to go on his mountain bike rides every morning when we had a to-do list a mile long. I was so resentful of his adventures that he kept going on. I decided to really figure out what is going on here. All of this invisible work. He's helping with the dishes, but all of this conception, planning, and remembering. And then I realized I was neurodivergent, and that's exactly what I'm really struggling with. And I was like, okay, this makes a lot of sense. So I decided to make a spreadsheet, as one does, and list all of the things, and I titled it My Plate, and it had things like the dentist and the doctor and the scheduling play dates and the finding the babysitter for the date night and the teaching about systemic racism. And I was just done. I couldn't do it anymore. So the first thing I shifted was work. I was working in a school supporting neurodivergent students, and I realized I needed to start including myself in my activism. And so I quit, and I started a business where I could work in really cozy clothes in a nice, calm, sensory-friendly environment. It was so helpful to start to understand my brain and figure out my needs. And then I stopped being the she-fault parent. And when one day my kid was sick and someone needed to stay home with him from school, and I was like, your turn, honey, I've done so many times. I got an appointment today, my massage. I stopped taking sole responsibility for reminding the kids to brush their teeth and take a bath and pick up their laundry and pack their lunch and do all of the things that, the house sort of fell apart, but. After stopping doing so much of the mental load, it created space for me to have adventures alone. So I started going swimming at the pool, the hot tub, sauna, steam room. They're in my really cool swim shirt. I started taking dance right during bedtime routine every week. They survived. And I got to be in a music video with the Electric Animals and be a backup dancer for my dance teacher at his concerts. So that was really fun. Started speaking all over the U.S. Here is me at the Rachel Rogers Hello 7 retreat in Brooklyn, New York recently. We got to choose a song to walk down the aisle and dance down the aisle to get on stage. I chose Boss Bitch. And now that I started creating adventure for myself alone, it's created space and inspired the rest of my family to be adventurous again. We started unschooling our kids, and she got to go skiing. We started world schooling and going traveling. There's my son when we're visiting California to just learn by visiting new places and having adventures together. And the boring marriage turned into adventurous again. Here, me and my husband went to an eco village in the jungle of Costa Rica with no kids and got to go horseback riding. Yes. Our marriage isn't perfect or anything, but he actually took on the mental load of planning the trip to Hawaii, renting the Jeep to go to the North Shore, and do all of the adventures together for that. Things don't magically happen overnight, so take your time, but it's okay. If you want to end your boring marriage, especially if you're a neurodivergent woman, and also want to burn down the patriarchy, just drop the plate.
Can I give you a hug? Isn't it weird, ladies, how many things that we do at home that we just assume are ours?